peeps, welcome to PCGamer Radio. I'm your host Lipstickpaddy, and today we're going to look at the best indies from Gamescom's 2021. This is so exciting, some really cool games here. And if you missed it, earlier on in the week we looked at the best game of Gamescom. You might want to check out that video, link above of course. But let's get on to the main event of today, the best indies. Oh yeah. Now, the first one, Serial Cleaners. We actually got some interesting things this time because it was really good at E3. But in what we saw at Gamescom was the different characters you're actually going to be taking over. Which is interesting because this lady, Lati, she is going to be, you know, she has her own set of skills that she can do. And each character you have has their own skills, which is really, really cool. She's kind of more stealthy based, I think, if I remember. And the next character that we see is more of a hands-on fisticuff fighter, where she's like doesn't get into fights or anything like that. But here we go, Psycho. You know from his name, he's going to be a bit nuts, but. Yeah, so what it means is the different characters you're playing, and it's going to change up the gameplay to the strengths of the character you're playing. So that's adding some gameplay depth, which is really interesting for me. I like the fact that the art style is so good as well. I'm really enjoying it, the blood around, and I like the fact that this guy can take out cops and things. So yeah, super cool. There was another video as well, which I won't be showing here, which is showing the kind of guy that speaks like this, but he's like, is he from New York? I'm from New York Apple. So you get to see the other guy as well. But yeah, it looks like there's going to be a roster of characters that you're going to play, and other than that, other than the different gameplay, we still don't know how the game is going to work as a story arc though, or is this going to be some kind of campaign. But it is looking absolutely fantastic, and I love this kind of 3D art that we're seeing. But oh, Viper, yeah, she's kind of the hacker, so she can sneak in, get control of electronic things and create distractions through that and stuff like that, so she'll be kind of good as well. But yeah, we're getting to see different art styles of graphics. You can see kind of going into their own secret mode where she can kind of follow the electronics. Very cool, isn't it? And I'm guessing some of these levels you're going to have to kind of learn how the movements are of the enemies, so it's going to have that kind of Hitman kind of mechanic and all that stuff. But I do like the fact that you're cleaning up a scene, as it were. But yeah, absolutely looking fascinating. The more I see of this game, the more the devs pull out more stuff, the better it looks. There you go, Bob. Looking phenomenal, peeps. Right, on to the next. Now, I love my 2D shooters, but what the heck is this? Well, it actually looks so old school. It reminds me of 1942 back on the Amstrad CPC 464 back in the 80s. Ooh, but look, it's very retro. It's very kind of niche, and it's goofy, isn't it? Really goofy. But yeah, I kind of like how tongue-in-cheek it's doing, and yeah, it could be kind of cool as an indie, especially the music that I'm not allowed to put any music from the show here because it will copyright bloody the video. But yeah, it looks really cool. I like all the, you know, it's going from this art style which is kind of nice and cheesy, using some FMV, full motion video for the old peeps out there, and looks like it's introducing really cool backgrounds as well. And I know the graphics are cheesy and it doesn't quite mix, but it has that cultish look to it. Super indie though, but they've done a lot here, and I like the style of it, even though it is 2D. But yeah, all these funny cutscenes that they're doing kind of bring out the game a little bit more for me in its kind of craziness that they've gone for. But I cannot be more in love with what I saw, and I really look forward to taking it out. I'd be curious though how the ship upgrades through the game. I think we're seeing a few different ships that you're controlling, but has that kind of B-movie feel, which I'm really enamored with. So yeah, it does look very cool, but Squadron 51, almost tongue-in-cheek there to Squadron 42, coming from Robert Space Industries. But yeah, who'd imagine? What a game, looking good. Oh, Conscript. Now this game, I was watching the first bits and I'm like, what's this going to be like? And then I thought, oh, this is growing on me. Now, what I like about this game is the character you are, it's almost like you're running around in a survival game, and the difficulty here looks interesting. I like the fact you've got your own storage event. You know, you've got all these parts. It's quite got its own little RPG going on in this world here. There's loads of kind of interesting art styles going on. I like the fact that it has a, you know, the shrouded map, so you can only see what your character sees. That kind of adds to the tension of these levels when you're playing. When you go outside though, it is a little bit open, but it still looks very difficult, and you'll see like the combat here where you've got to roll around and it looks kind of, some of these 1916 weapons are a bit clunky, so you've kind of, he's on the run there, you see, very, very interesting, and almost feels almost Resident Evil-like in its kind of run away from the enemy and try to use as less ammo as you can, because for whatever reason. But I'm kind of fascinated by it, actually. I do like these as well. I like the fact that the story is, we don't know what the story is, who you are, or anything like that. That's kind of, this is kind of its first time I've actually seen anything of this game, and it's looking rather cool. Possibly going to see it at E3 to get more flesh on the bone, but it's certainly a cool atmosphere that it has, and I'm definitely open for playing this type of game, because it does look from this gameplay to be absolutely tense as heck, doesn't it? But yeah, survival game with a little bit of RPG strapped on the construct, looking pretty interesting in fact, and I had to put it on my list because it looks really, really cool. Oh, this was a curious one. This gameplay puts me back, way back into the 90s. Now, I'm thinking, what the heck is this all about? It was like a mysterious beginning, showing off some nice art. And I'm thinking, come on, what is it, the game? Well, I think what really put the hooks in me is this part, because these kind of mages here, they're trying to get this ball of magic somewhere, but the thing is they have to get people to push it, so they're getting a little beetle out here. This is probably going to be you and the beetle. You have to push it. Here you see yourself pushing this thing. Oh my god, what's going on here? Well, the thing is, you're pushing it so far, and then I think you're going to jump into another kind of beast that takes it around the next journey. So it's basically a road trip pushing this thing around the world. And yeah, trying to get it where it is. But I'm pretty sure you're going to be changing it into a different person. You can't be that beetle through the whole game, can you? But very, very curious. A road trip where you're playing a beetle. There's combat involved as well. World map to go across. Look what's going on here. Really interesting though. And this is the tactical combat that kind of evokes. Yeah, but Sandwalkers. There you go. Sandwalkers. Now, the Amazing American Circus. A circus game? Crikey. Well, in the board game industry, there's been a few circus themes popping up in the last couple of years, so no wonder it's popped onto the indie scene on PC, because it is a really, really cool, probably game, right? I mean, I really fell in love with a big top game back on the Amstrad in the 80s, where you were kind of doing all of the skills that you needed to do in the circus, and it was really fascinating to do, and the gameplay was really cool. I was around about 8 years old. So this has a little bit nostalgia, maybe. But anyway, we get to see what's going on in the game. You are going to be traveling across the USA, and there's possibly going to be a bit of role-playing maybe as your circus gets bigger. There's cards it looks like you're collecting as well, so it does have some kind of board game influence here, card-based, and the cards are giving special abilities, it seems, to the gameplay. So yeah, going across the United States does look kind of interesting, and it's coming out really soon, like mid-September as well, so I'll probably get my hands on it for you peeps to see on our channel. But here you can see the circus inside, a little bit of the gameplay there on the big top. You're going to have certain celebrities watching you as well, so you're going to have to be performing at your best, which is kind of interesting. I like it when it's thematically within the game that you have to do better, not just for the score, but because you are trying to impress the celebrities that are coming. But it's more of a teaser for what's coming on in the game, and really, really can't wait to get my hands on it to really see if it's going to itch that circus theme that I've had since 1988, I want to say. Wow, is it that long? I'm old. Jupiter Moon's Mecha. This got me pretty exciting. It could look deck building your own robot using the cards for combat. So yeah, it's got deck building and upgrading your mech going into combat in whatever. All I could see here was the card combat and building up your cards, deck building, like I say, building your robot. Looks very, very cool. They only had 40 seconds to show off the game, but look, world map, very interesting to walk around. Go on. What are you getting from these enemies when you destroy them? Are you getting parts from them? Can you do crafting in the game? So many questions over this game, but it looks very, very cool. Super cool indie with a super long, cool name. Oh, look at all those upgrades you can get. I'm definitely down for this roleplay, mech building, deck building, card combat game. What a gameplay mash about. Ooh. Dice Legacy. I'm like, what is this? Oh my God. Now, in board gaming, one hot topic, people love worker placement games, and this game is a dice worker placement game by the looks of it. Randomly rolling the dice, and on top of the dice it'll tell you what type of worker you have, and then you position them on the board. Look, it has a tech tree. Oh, it has policies. It's going deeper than a board game, big time. Look at the world, looking very cool. Remember, you're going to be on this big wheel map, so you forge your dice. Yeah, you can upgrade your dice as well, which is a new mechanic that has been in board gaming, where you can upgrade your dice as well. It's roguelike. What's going on here? Possibly going to have combat as well with these dice as well. Loads of different biomes on this big tube thing that you're on. Looks fascinating. But yeah, Dice Legacy. Enough there to get it on my radar, and coming real soon. Oh my God, excitement up, up, up. Now then, Against the Storm. This looks very, very cool. Why? Because it's like a settlers game. Yeah. You've got all these workers walking around. You're basically making a massive world building, you can see here, but you're going to get wrecked by nature, and you're going to have to build in new areas and things like that. I think what makes the gameplay interesting is that you're going to be moving around the biome, and you're going to be changing into the different thing. You know, you can see different races that you're going to have to become in the game to get bigger in that. But you basically, yeah, it's a roguelike city builder, it calls itself. Big world map to go on as well, which I kind of like. Has that kind of survival thing going on, and it looks like there's different styles with the different kind of people that you can be, but you can see all the workers actually picking up things that they've chopped, taking them to the building, so it has that settler-like feel. Loads and loads of different levels to conquer as well, so this looks kind of my cup of tea, actually. I'll see how it plays out though. It's coming in October, and it's looking like the first settler-like game we've seen, where you can see all of your resources actually getting carried around and stuff, which I really, really like. But weather events, potentially dangerous areas, and even enemies to fight, it's got that settler appeal, but in an indie way and doing their own thing. I'm definitely interested in this one. Looking good. Against the Storm, definitely on my hot list. Falling Frontier. Looks like a 4X, but RTS at the same time. So yeah, real-time strategy. but a big one, because you're going to be exploring, exterminating, and all that jazz of the 4X formula. But looking really cool. You got, not only have you got the solar system to kind of dominate, but then you go out into more systems, it looks like. But I think the fascinating thing combining an RTS with a 4X is all of the tech tree that you're going to get from the 4X bleeding into the RTS, which is going to be phenomenal. So it's a little bit like Alpha Centauri, but it's brought up to an RTS standard, which does look good. The dev here talking about all the physics he's put into the combat field more real and stuff like that, but there's quite a lot going on here, and it has that chunkiness to an RTS. Definitely got that indie look to it, though. We'll see what happens. It does say that all your ships need to get fuel, and you even need to get food for the people that are on the ship to bring medicine to them and all this stuff. So you actually do have a crew on the ship. They're not just ships flying around. There's actually things going on inside the ships themselves. But got the giant world map to explore, exterminate, and all that good stuff. And you get a little bit here of all the upgrades you can kind of do and changing things up. Get into the nuts and bolts of the real-time strategy now as you're looking at your units, about what everything does, putting different technologies that you've unlocked on there, and I think we get to see a little bit of like the crew management that's coming into it as well. So it does have this nice depth and chunkiness to it. I think it's in early access though, so it's kind of just a peeky look at this. I don't touch any early access stuff. I wait until it actually comes out, because that's how I've always flown, right? And that's when I feel it's time to review it, because it's unfair to review an early access game, in my opinion, because it's still in development. So hey, but hey, it's looking interesting. I definitely want to see more about it, and hopefully we'll get some more dev diaries as it gets closer to its 1.0. But as a first entry that we saw at Gamescom, it does look rather intriguing, actually. I love RTS, I love 4X formula games, and this one certainly is on my radar now. Very, very interesting and cool. And I think coming up right now, I'll play this video a bit longer just so you can kind of see what's going on with the crew management, because, you know, it looks like your crew potentially also can get leveled up, maybe. So yeah, lots of things to think about in this game, and hopefully it isn't too hard to learn how to play the game, because these big 4Xs can be difficult, and if it's an indie game, they usually don't have a fantastic tutorial, but we'll just have to wait and see for that. But it's looking very, very interesting, just because there's nothing out there like it. So yeah, thankfully the indie team are mopping up. My goodness, this list I've got here, I've got so many unique games on. Bloody hell's fire. Let's go to the next. Now, Timberborn. You'd be right in thinking I've got an itch for city builders. This one's kind of unique because you are little, looks like weasels or some kind of whatever you are. And you're going to be playing different factions, which I think going to have different technologies too, so it kind of mixes it up. It has that settler feel as well, mixed with this aspect of changing the factions and the tech that each one can do. I don't know if you're going to be trading with each of them, so it can be more war focused, but it almost feels like there is a little bit of Factorio going on here, inspired stuff. Interesting how the weather and the things come into play to actually power things up. So yeah, Factorio, my game of last year. You can check my channel out for coverage of that, where I did I do love Factorio, but this has got that kind of feel to it. Prepare for deadly droughts, it says as well. So things are obviously going to die out. Another kind of survival game as well. But yeah, you can build up vertically, and if the floods come, you should be happy days with that. But lots of stuff going on here. There is another video you can find out there talking about the different factions, how they work as well. But it says terraform, so you're going to be in a little bit of populous destruction on the map as well, which I appreciate as well. and lots of different things coming on here. See a little bit of the factions here, more in the other faction gameplay video, but looking charming, fun, and definitely itching that itch that I have of city builders. Timberborn, looking very cool. Alright, coming last is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. This is going to be a nostalgia trip. Back in the 80s, if you went to the arcade, there was this 2D fighting ninja game like this, Turtles Official. Just reminds me of that because it's like, oh my god, look at the graphics on this arcade game compared to what you had on the Amstrad CPC 464. It looked phenomenal. Not even games on the Amiga looked like this from the arcade. It looked so slick and smooth. It was running at maybe 60 frames a second. Nostalgia, you're painting all the wrongs, don't you? But this is looking just like that. It's got all the kind of cool things that you did in that arcade that I can remember as well. And I like the fact that there's some kind of synergy between each character where you can kind of throw each other around and do tag team combat stuff. This bit here with the Rhino moving across, that does hark back to the old arcade game, which was phenomenal. And of course the reveal of April O'Neil to play as a character, and the fact that you can resurrect yourself with a slice of pizza. So yeah, looking fabulous. So there you go, that's my best indie games of Gamescom 2021. Feel free to add some down below in the comments of any that you got on your radar that you thought were really cool as well, and I thank you so much for watching. This is going to be the end of our Gamescom coverage 2021, so thank you so much if you watched our other video too. Props to you, thank you so much. Please like the videos, subscribe, and all that good jazz. Hit the bell when we get new videos. So with all that said, thank you so much for watching. This has been PCGamer Radio. I've been your host, Lipstickpaddy. You take care, stay safe, and take care for now. Bye-bye. Well, thanks for watching. And if you remember, you can please subscribe and like the video. And don't remember, you can also hit the bell for notices on the channel. Yeah, we've also got a Twitter you can see on our banner, so check that out too. So take care and bye-bye.